Hey, welcome to Keight Krafts. I'm Keight. Today I would like to share with you my make for Scrap and Stamp's February Inspiration Hop. Let's get started. So to kick things off, I've gone ahead off camera and cut out all the bits that I'm going to need. We used the Quilted Hearts backdrop die and portrait. We've also used the outside-in stitch scallop stackables, the largest one. We've also used the window frame and its little curtain, and I busted out the Shadow Box Theater add-on, plus some scraps of paper and acetate. So we are going to measure out roughly how big I want that center to be, and we are going to cut down our heart background, our quilted heart background. Now I thought about just cutting along halfway through the hearts, but then it covered up that stitch edge, and to be honest, I probably could have thought the cut out a little bit better than what I did because it wasn't quite even, and I'm okay with it. It's not the greatest. I think this will be in my pile for, my personal stash instead of putting it into a market pile, but I end up going back in here and I end up cutting off all of the hearts along the edges. And just to kind of tidy that up because I didn't like how it was half cut out, kind of like that. And then for the bottom bit, I could have shaved off a little bit from the top and then cut into the bottom, but it is what it is. I like how it turned out overall. So next we're going to take out the window here, and we're going to go along the edges of the window on the back side of it and adding some 1/8 of an inch score tape. This stuff is really good, I find, for making shaker cards as it's very sticky and very secure, and I really don't have to use any glue with it. And being so fine, you can get into some small nooks and crannies with this tape. So once I figure out where my little pokey tool is, because my fingernails aren't doing me any justice, we're going to use it to lift off the release tape to the back of the sticky bit, and then that way we will be able to adhere our little piece of acetate. But first I need to unclog my art glue thing because I forgot to put the lid back on it last time I used it. We're just going to add some dots and then smear in the dots along the window pane so that way it doesn't lift up from the acetate. You could go in with some score tape, but I'm not that steady-handed and I don't want it poking out and getting it all over the place. So once we've given that a good mash down, we can go ahead and add our foam tape. Now, I really enjoy using this technique with my foam tape because, truth be told, somebody didn't clean her scissors off the last time she used them. That would be me. That would be me. So my actual foam cutting scissors are super sticky and I was getting nowhere with them, so I ended up finding a scrap piece of release paper from the last project that I did in my trash can, so a little bit of a garbage picker there. And I liberated it and used it on the sticky side of my foam tape, and then I was able to cut them out. So I really love using that technique for cutting down foam tape. It prevents your scissors from getting too sticky, and it's easy breezy. So here we've got some sequin mixes that I have. I have quite a few sequin mixes, and I didn't see the ones that I used in today's project in the Scrap and Stamp store, so I'll go ahead and leave links in the description box below for products that I've used today, as well as other alternatives that I think would look really great in this project. And while I'm fiddling with this release tape, I should probably tell you what today's project is about. So today's project is for Scrap and Stamp's Inspiration Hop, featuring one of my favorite techniques. And one of them is the whole foam tape thing. I struggle with it. But anyway, each stop along the way will show you a new design to inspire you. As always, we will be giving away one $50 gift certificate to one lucky person who leaves a comment at each stop along the way. Every stop is another chance to win, so please share the love with all the talented makers. Winner will be announced on Scrap and Stamp's blog at the end of the month. And if you want to see the full list, go ahead and check out the description box below. If you get lost along the way, you can come back to this video or just jump over to the Scrap and Stamp blog. So yeah, give uh, give everybody a little bit of love in this hop, and maybe you'll get a chance to win the $50 gift certificate to Scrap and Stamp Store. I know I have my eye on a few things that I would love to get my grubby little fingers on, but we will see. So while I am fiddling with more foam tape, we have cut down I guess the little base that our window is kind of going to lean up against here, just to kind of ground it out so it's not floating in middle air, or mid-air I should say, in the middle of the card. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue here to the foam tape, and then what we're going to do is we're going to line it up, and then we're going to mash it down, and then I'm going to pull that little bit up there. And before I forget, I really need to glue this down to our little scalloped edge there. I was getting a little ahead of myself and kind of working all over the place. There was no linearness to this card. It was just here, there, and everywhere. And I probably could have thought this out a little bit better, but I was so busy trying to figure out how I wanted to piece together all of these elements and put them into something fun. And this card, as much as there is going on, it is a pretty basic card. And one of the techniques I like to use for zhuzhing up a pretty basic card is just add glitter. So instead of just adding glitter, we created a shaker window. And I really like making shaker cards. They're kind of I don't know how to explain it, my autopilot, my go-to. I don't know what to make? Make a shaker card. You need a birthday card? Make a shaker card. How about weddings? Make a shaker card. Shaker cards are just so darn easy to make. And I tend to go to the ones with the foam to prop them up a little bit. I don't do too many of the flat shaker cards, although it's been a while since I've done one. I might do one of them one of these days. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I wanted to do a shaker card because they're just so much fun. I really enjoy them. And as hindsight is always 2020, I probably could have done some stamping in the background of that window just to add a little bit more interest, because I think it looks a little bit bare. And before I forget, I wanted to put this little curtain on, and I end up just positioning it in the wrong way. And I realized this as I smashed this down onto the card, and you'll see here in a minute I end up having to pull it up. But don't worry, don't worry, it can be salvaged. If anything, it can be salvaged. And I mean, I could have cut out another bit, but at this point in the game I was a little too lazy to do so. So here you see me taking some tape runner, adding it down, and I think, no, I'll put a little bit of glue here, a little bit of glue there, and then we'll go ahead and give that a line up. And I realize, oh, well, I didn't do that right. So what we're going to do is we're going to very carefully tear it apart, not to tear the front side of the paper, and we're going to line up that bit first, and then we're going to take our other little bit and make sure that that looks adequate enough. See, I was lining up the colored lines, and really I wanted to offset them to the white, and that's where I kind of went wrong. So I kind of lined up all the colors together, and it didn't work out in my favor. Instead, you needed to offset it, so that's what I did there. So once I've given that a good mash down, we need a sentiment. I always get to the end of the card and think, oh, jeepers, what am I going to put on this card? So I dug through my stash and I found I think it's the Magic Heart message that I used. Let me just check my notes here. Yes, it's the Magic Heart message, and it says, "Would you be mine?" I figured that would be fine. It could be a Valentine's Day card. It could be, whatever you want it to be. So here we've got a little bit of Lawn Fawn's rose gold embossing powder. Again, I left some alternatives down in the description box below for the sequins, for the acetate, for the foam. I threw in the glue that I used, the tape runner that I used, And yeah, so if you're curious about anything, I do have affiliate links down below. They don't cost you anything, but if you use one of my links to shop, it gives me a little bit of a kickback that helps my never ending, unsensationable, unquenchable thirst for craft supplies. So here we've got the banner die. Yes, the banner die. I completely forgot about that. And because this banner die is too long, we've gone ahead and cut it, shifted it, and cut it again. Just doing a little bit of partial cut. And then we're going to add some tape runner to the back here, a little bit of glue, and then we're going to line that up to the bottom of our card and plop that down, giving it a good mash down. And once that's done, we'll just add it to a card base, and my card is complete. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the card. What would you do different with this card? I know there's a few things I'd like to do. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me today. Take care.